So what's up guys? As I'm trying to shoot a case review, I'm trying to be as engaged visually as possible with something that's in front of my lens and also mentally, and this is where Audible as a productivity booster really comes into play, of getting my mind engaged. And I've recently been listening to Brainmaker, which is a fantastic audiobook on what you should eat to feel elite. See the connection there? You get a 30-day free trial if you sign up at audible.com/HWC, plus you get a free audiobook that you get to download and keep forever. So happy listening and elite healthy lifestyle. So, the NZXT S340 is one of those popular cases that keeps updating to keep up with the market trends, as the Elite version is a $30 premium over the original, which I think is fair given the extra updates. The frame itself is unchanged, and I have the matte black version, which is the identical color to the Razor edition of the S340, but a white and a red black versions will also be available. Now, first thing, the tempered glass panel has been added that not only gives the S340 a new, clean, fresh look, but it's also so much more resilient to scratches and handle marks that are so common on plastic windows. The perimeter is blacked out to hide the edges of the frame, and you can see a lot more now versus the previous window, which this frame still supports. So the backwards compatible with older cases panels, but given the nature of the glass mount, the window is not compatible with older versions of the case. And what I would love to see is some type of swivel glass panel, but I understand that's very difficult to implement given how heavy the glass is. Airflow remains the same with rear and top exhaust, top being unfiltered still, unfortunately, and I think people were hoping for an added fan slot, but given the compact mid-tower status, I'm fine with how things have been left alone, as the intent is to use the front panel for AAO installation, either a 240 or a 280mm radiator, and the intake is filter 2 with easy to remove panel and a magnetic filter. The drive cage is below, it is ventilated but without any direct access for airflow, but the spacing from the panel is enough for the fans to intake enough, and here at the top is the new I/O with added VR ports as they are labeled, giving us 2 USB 3 ports, a full-size HDMI pass-through for the VR headset. It's definitely the latest trend to follow in the footsteps of tempered glass, but let us know if that's an attractive feature for you in the comments below. The interior is identical with a power supply shroud, a couple of SSD caddies with appropriate cutouts, and now a third SSD caddy on the side with a cutout at the front for proper orientation of the drive, and it's definitely made to show off your hardware. The rest of the layout is unchanged with a smart cable management bracket on the side of the motherboard that actually has been offset away from the front panel, so you have now 65mm of clearance from the front, which is enough for a standard radiator plus fan configuration. The power supply dust filter has changed to this easily removable plate, unlike the crappy flabby one on the original, and cable management has also been refined with new plastic clips that hold all the cables. My only negative comment here would be the clips are quite weak and would open if any excess cables are stuffed in there. And why couldn't NZXT fix the bottom drive cage? It fits only 3.5-inch drives, but without any padding, there are no caddies there, so this metal on metal contact is not ideal for acoustics. And so as I begin the assembly process, I really wanted to leave the full 25-minute timeline until I have a finished system, as the process, as you can see, is super simple, and I would say the S340 would be a nice beginner's case. The one surprising thing that I found was this Molex fan splitter for 2 included fans that I wish was SATA, but for best fan control, of course, they were connected to the motherboard. The main thing I like here is the layout that's built for this particular configuration, so an all-in-one at the front for intake, while exhaust is covered by default, and if you are air cooling, front fans are a must for intake. Now, with improved cable management, this was easier to route than the original, and the fact that the power supply is totally hidden, you actually don't have to do as much to keep things clean. And with the glass panel closed, this refresh gives the S340 a totally new, attractive look, and if you're after this minimal, clean lines frame, this totally fits. And lastly, a VR accessory is included, this magnetic rubber 2-piece holder that can be attached to any metal surface and is meant to hold a VR headset. It's actually surprising how functional it is, having a channel for cable to wrap around, and the magnet itself is quite powerful, so this is my go-to headphone holder from now on. Assembling your Vertigear gaming chair just got a whole lot easier with a simple insert mechanism of the back seat onto the side rails, so you mount the side screws much faster. A true one-man job. Assembly made easy by Vertigear. And so the Elite, in my eyes, should serve as a perfect example of what to do when refreshing a case. The price premium of $30 is fair and in line to how much competing brands are charging for tempered glass editions, plus the added VR I/O, accessory bracket, extra SSD caddy on the inside, plus improved cable management. I only wish the drive cage was different, but if you have been eyeing the S340, the Elite edition deserves that status for one of the best mid-towers on the market right now. It is a little bit risky though, as this is no longer a budget enclosure, but that is what happens when tempered glass is involved. I'm Dmitry with Canucks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.